spare. Can't go outside, you're not going anywhere. When you're stuck at home with time to spare. Can't go outside, you're not going anywhere. Why don't you pull up a chair or pull up a stool? Tune into virtual Sunday school.
Hi everyone! Happy Easter! Christos Anesti?
Alithos Anesti.
Christ has risen.
Indeed, he's risen.
Good job. So I'm sure that everyone had a lot of fun last week in Easter, and we all had the most amazing time. I know we couldn't go to church or celebrate with our friends, but I'm sure that everyone had a lot of fun at home, and we celebrated Easter and we celebrated the resurrection of Jesus Christ. So I had a lot of questions from kids asking, why we are celebrating Easter? Why did God had to come to earth, get crucified, and then resurrect? Why is all of that? So I thought today we'll answer this question. And the best way to answer this question and know why we're celebrating Easter and why God had to go all of that is through the Bible. So I have a nice story for you to watch, and hopefully we'll know why we celebrate Easter from that. Let's go and watch? Alright, let's go.
The Bible is really amazing. It tells us the story from the start. It tells us why Jesus had to come to earth, get crucified, and resurrect. The story started with God creating a perfect world and a perfect couple to enjoy it. But Adam and Eve disobeyed God and sinned. After that, people started to continue to sin and disobey God. So God decided to punish people by sending a flood to destroy the earth, and asked Noah to build an ark so him, his family and the animals could be saved. And he used Noah to save his people. One of Noah's descendants was a man called Abraham. God promised Abraham to give him a great land to live in, and his kids, and the Israelites will be as many as the stars in the sky. But then a famine came and spread through the world. God used Joseph to bring the Israelites to Egypt to save them from hunger. But after a while, the Egyptians made them slaves. So God sent another person to save them, Moses, to rescue his people and take them to the promised land. God did amazing miracles along the way. He showed them how to build the tent, how to offer sacrifices for their sins. But the Israelites disobeyed God and worshipped idols and asked for a new king instead of God. One of those kings was David, who defeated Goliath. David's son Solomon built a beautiful temple for God. Then came a lot of prophets to ask people to stop sinning, and told them about Jesus and how he will come to save them from their sins and make their life with God again. And they lived for a long time waiting for Jesus to save them. And they waited and waited for a long time. Then silence. For 400 years God remained silent and did not talk to his people because he was very upset. He was upset of their sins. Then came the cry of a tiny baby born in a manger. His name was Jesus, the Son of God. He lived with no sins, did a lot of miracles, and showed people how to be good and return to God again. Some people believed him, but a lot didn't. He was arrested and crucified on the cross. Then something amazing happened. 3 days after his death, Jesus resurrected and defeated death and Satan. And he went up to heaven. If you look through the stories of the Bible, we will find that it all tell us about Jesus. The ark was a sign of the day when Jesus will come and save us on the cross. God promised Abraham to bless his children, remember? And he did that through Jesus. The sacrifices pointed to Jesus and told us that he will be the sacrifice for us on the cross to save us. Because of the sin that Adam and Eve did, God had to send his son Jesus to save us all. He sent a lot of people and prophets to tell people to be good again, but wasn't enough. He needed to come to earth by himself and die for us on the cross and resurrect to save us from the sin and from Satan. And that is the story of the Bible.
So, we were talking about why did God had to come to earth, take a body, get crucified and resurrect? Why is all of that? So to answer this question, we need to do a little experiment that's gonna show you why we do this. So if you look at this, we have a plate. This plate represents the world. This coin that sits in the plate represents us, me and you, who live in the world. So when we do something wrong, what happens? The sin will be around us, okay? And we will be in the sin, like this, sitting inside, because the sin will fill our hearts and will make it not clean as before. And because Jesus Christ loves us, so he decided to come into the earth, because he is the light of the earth, like this candle. So he came and he sat in the world, lived with us in the world and took a body like us. And then he said, okay, how can I make them clean again and not have this sin in them? So he decided to die on the cross so that he can take all our sins on the cross and we become clean again. The same as this candle. When we cover it, like when Jesus went into the tomb, look what's gonna happen. The candle started to take all of the sin inside just to keep us cleaner again. So see that? How much is in now? While the coin is now without any sin. That's exactly what happened. So after Jesus crucified on the cross, we become clean again, so we can go to heaven to him. So now, do you understand why did God have to do all of that? So we can have a place in heaven with a clean heart. So now you can go try this experiment and see if it's gonna work for you as well. See you.
I'm a rooster in a beautiful garden. I'm a rooster in a beautiful garden. There was a tomb covered with a huge stone. There was a tomb covered with a huge stone. Tell us, O rooster, what you saw on Sunday morning of Christ's resurrection. Before the dawn of day, before the people woke, I saw an angel whose light was like the stars. As I stood in the garden singing with tunes and humming, as I stood in the garden singing with tunes and humming, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus rose from the dead. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus rose from the dead. Tell us, O rooster, what you saw on Sunday morning of Christ's resurrection.
Uncle Bassem! Uncle Bassem! Yes, you Phil. I'm a bit confused. You know, I love Easter eggs, and I think that Easter eggs are a great thing, and we can have fun with them, and we can eat them, and also understand that this is the resurrection day. So I'm just confused. Why do people eat Easter eggs and decorate Easter eggs in Resurrection Day? I just don't get it. Can you please let me know? I don't understand what's happening. Okay, I will tell you, Faithful. So, yes, Easter eggs are really, really important in making sure that we celebrate Easter and resurrection. But why is it really relating to Easter and resurrection? I will tell you. So when we look at the Easter egg, right? The egg is like a shell. And when we look at it, it looks like there is no life inside. It's just a shell. Same like the tomb that Jesus Christ was buried in after the crucifixion, after he went on the cross and died on the cross. But when we look at this little egg, after a while, a little chicken will come out of the egg, and we can see life again. And we can see that life came out of something that didn't have life before. The same like when Jesus Christ went out of the tomb and he resurrected and was alive again. So that's why we look at the Easter egg and we remember the resurrection of Jesus Christ coming out of the tomb after he's resurrected. And that's why eggs are very important, and we have to eat them and have a lot of fun of them. And there is ones that like those little like big chocolate ones, and you can eat them and do Easter egg hunt and all of that. But the most important thing, Faithful, is to make sure that we know why we eat those eggs and what do they represent. Understand now, Faithful? Yes, it makes lots of sense now. I can actually go and hunt for all of those Easter eggs, but I know that there is a real symbol, and I understand now that the little chicken coming out of the egg represents Jesus Christ becoming alive more and coming out of the tomb and resurrecting. I get it now. I get it. I will go and find all the other Easter eggs. Thank you, Uncle Bassem. Thank you so much. Okay, ready now to go to the next one? Let's go. Hello. Alright, so now it's time to say Christ has risen. Indeed, he's risen in 4 different languages. First one, we all know, English. So we're gonna say Christ has risen. When someone says that to us, we say, indeed, he's risen. The second one is in the Arabic language. So we say, المسيح قام بالحقيقة قام. Okay? So لما حد يقول لنا المسيح قام, we say بالحقيقة قام. Third one is the Greek language. So in the Greek language we say Christos anesti. Yes, I know you know it. Alithos anesti. So the fourth one is the Coptic language, our church language. So we say Bechristos aftomf chen umithmi aftomf. Say it again after me. Bechristos aftomf chen umithmi aftomf. So now we can say Christ has risen in 4 different languages. Well done.
My Lord Jesus from his tomb rose up and he was victorious. He broke the sting of death, and his light has filled the darkness. My Lord Jesus from his tomb rose up and he was victorious. He broke the sting of death. has filled the darkness.
He rose up from the dead. He rose up from the dead, and He freed us from slavery, and He freed us from slavery.
My church cried and dressed in black, abiding in His crucifixion, and in white she dressed instead, celebrating His resurrection. My church cried and dressed in black, abiding in His crucifixion, and in white she dressed instead, celebrating His resurrection.
He rose up from the dead. He rose up from the dead, and He freed us from slavery,
And He freed us from slavery, and He freed